Hello everyone and welcome to the Starseed Dragon channel. This is a review for Dragons for Beginners, Ancient Creatures in a Modern World by Shawn Mackenzie. Now, first of all, I love Shawn Mackenzie. She's the one who created the Tarot of Dragons, which is a magnificent tarot deck. And this book was actually on sale on llewellyn.com, where I purchased it. So I'll put the link in the description box below. I obviously just received this, but I would, wanted to let you know what was going on and review it real quick with you. Dragons for Beginners. Now, I'm familiar with the way Shawn Mackenzie writes, which is very a very fun way of thinking about the world. And I really connect with Shawn Mackenzie's writings. In the beginning, the great cosmic dragon kissed the sun. Her fiery wings held close the earth. The air shook with her thunderous smile. Let's see. Welcome to Dragon Country. Somewhere between the craggy mountains of modern science and the forested lowlands of primordial myth, thunder rolls across lapis skies, and the air is fragrant with spice and fire. This is Dragon Country. It's a land I've known since I was no more than knee-high to a kickle snifter. Through the years, I have explored it, cardinal point to point, growing gray among its residents. I have gone dragon watching from Europe to the Pacific Northwest, from desert sands to glacial flows. I've seen enchantments bathe in Iceland's thermal pools and tail dance along Vermont's green mountains. Ooh, I'm already falling into this. I sense a whiff of incredulity in the air. Dragons? You've seen dragons? The poet Ralph Hodgson was fond of saying some things have to be believed to be seen. In the realm of Weir, dragon community, and Wing, this is as close to gospel as it gets. And why shouldn't we believe? From prehistory to present, dragons have informed our species' ties with a mix of wonder, skepticism, dread, and ultimately mighty leaps of faith. Of course, being open to the rare and unusual and to the hidden all around us is a subjective thing. Even more so when it comes to beings who sail the eternal winds between reality and myth. That said, the range and power of dragons is such that they have fared far better than a host of lesser creatures, capturing the imagination so that whether we love them or loathe them, even when out of sight, dragons are never out of mind. Personally, I prefer to love them, as do I, Shawn. My first dragon sighting occurred in 1963 in Devonshire, England, on the rural fringes of Dartmoor. Prime dragon country. Moor and woodland, the wilderness was a playground for me. One particular haunt of mine was a dense beach and rhododendron forest surrounding a deserted mica mine, which I explored wherever or whenever I could. On one such trek, out of the corner of my eye, I spied something large, quietly weaving in and out of the woods. I turned, but there was nothing there. A play of my imagination, I figured, continuing on my way. Then I saw it again, on the other side of the lane. I stopped and stared hard, trying to pick out a creature from the camouflaging bands of shade and filtered sun. Something had moved. I was sure of it. Suddenly, with a roar and a whoosh that knocked me flat, a young emerald green dragon flew out of the woods, swooped over my head, circled the mine, then zoomed straight up through the canopy and disappeared. I was dumbstruck, not scared, just wowed. Even in England, I knew you didn't see dragons every day, yet I had. For some reason, the great dragon had smiled on me that day and blessed me with my first real live dragon encounter. Of course, how we think of dragons has a lot to do with our initial contacts. The first dragons I met all those years ago were not frightful monsters, but fiercely loyal guardians against the terrors of the dark. Over the decades, they changed as I did. They became larger, more intelligent, and more complex, more wild, striving to keep up, to be the best dragon person I could, and to understand them as best I could. I threw myself into their history and ways, both natural and mystical. I discovered tales and wonders along the way, and all sorts of dragons. They never asked much, never demanded parades or unconditional approval, though we've given them the former, and as for the latter, well, anyone who's spent an afternoon around a weir knows we're none of us perfect. No, they simply wanted to be seen in all their elaborate, sometimes messy truth, from horned brow to spiky tail, and respected for the beings they are, like every other traveler on the planet. From respect comes appreciation. From appreciation, love. What could be simpler? Unfortunately, I discovered there is little simple about our long history with dragons. A lot of bad blood lingers on both sides. For our part, it's further complicated by fictions, superstitions, and outright lies, tumbling headlong into blind disbelief. In fact, or in the face of all that, there is only one answer: the truth. In Wales, land of many dragons, there is a saying. Okay, well, I'm going to mess this part up. I gwir in Erbain I bide. Truth against the world. And nothing imparts truth like a tete-a-tete with a dragon. It is an experience guaranteed to beat back the darkest night like dragon fire, and to remind us that across leagues and eons, dragons remain the one universal, familiar bit of magic we carry with us, and in return, they carry our awe. Surely theirs is the weightier burden. For that reason alone, these great ancient creatures are as necessary today as they ever were. And yet there is so much more to love about dragons. They teach us to keep connected with the planet, which is critical these days when Earth's delicate balance is in danger of being shattered. The more we lose touch with the wilderness and the damage we've done to the world, the more we need dragons to remind us of our place in the natural order of things and the responsibility we owe to each other and to the planet. By consorting with dragons, we are able to tap into the better parts of ourselves, be inspired by their courage, loyalty, justice, and family devotion, even their humility. Yes, dragons can be humble, can teach us. The study of dragons is little less than the study of the world. zoology, biology, physics, chemistry, toxicology, aeronautics, mythology, cosmology, religion, ontology, ontology, ethics, sociology, even dragon lore. The list goes on and on, in short, encompassing what it means to be human. We need to keep dragons in the modern world so that we might keep the mystery and wonder in our lives. We ignore dragons at our own and the world's peril. For those of you to the world of dragons, or for those of you new to the world of dragons, let this book be your guide. In part 1, you will be introduced to the basic scientific facts, from size to diet, habitat to habits, of the 3 species of true dragons: Eastern Asian, Western European, and feathered, Southern or New World. You will also meet a cross-section of lesser or pseudo-dragons. They are the vaguely dragonish creatures from around the world who flesh out local dragon lore and keep dragon watchers on their toes. This is Dragon Studies 101, sure to guarantee that you're safe in the wild and don't make a fool of yourself at the next dragon convention. Don't forget to consult the glossary and bibliography as needed. Part 2 looks at our changing relationship with dragons throughout history, focusing on religion, the occult sciences, and art and literature. It traces their cultural influence from their honored days in ancient China, where they influenced Taoism and the divining art of the I Ching, to the pages of modern fairy tales and literary fantasy, from their role as the devil's minions to their being used piecemeal for alchemists' elixirs. Finally, in part 3, you will learn how to live with dragons in both wild and domestic settings. You will be introduced to the rules and ways of modern dragon sanctuaries and laybys, as well as the fundamentals of dragon keeping. Should you be so lucky and inclined, from hatching fire to the drill of flight and the demands and responsibility of advanced age. Dragons and dragon keepers, old friends, new colleagues, comrades of scale and burning blood, I offer you these pages. They are my invitation. Come, walk with me through dragon country. I just really love how Shawn Mackenzie writes. I really do. Dragon basics and what they are and why we need them. I'm not going to read this whole book to you. Sorry, guys. If this introduction didn't hook you in, then I don't know what. Part 2, Dragons in Faith, Magic, and the Arts. And part 3, Living with Dragons. Wow. I can't wait to finish reading this book. I'm going to get right on. Oh, look, here's the glossary. Oh my goodness. Wow. How beautiful is this? Dracophile, a dragon lover like you. Love it. What an amazing book so far, and I've only read the introduction. Body, mind, and spirit, supernatural. Welcome to Dragon Country. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Here is the ISBN if this is something that you would like to look up at your local bookstore. I purchased this from Llewellyn.com. And I will put the link in the description box below. But looks like a fabulous book, wonderful gift item for those of you who know someone who is in love with dragons or dragon lore. It's a paperback. It's a nice size book, right? My hand is a normal size hand. It's rather nice book. Paperback. I can't wait to finish reading this. I'm excited. I love how Shawn Mackenzie writes, and it just sings to me. So I'm looking forward to this book. I hope you are too. And if you are, get it yourself and let me know what you think of it in the comment section below so that we could share our opinions of this book with everyone in our community so we can get a better understanding from multiple different people. How's that sound? Okay. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you on the next video.